Cool. So we are officially recording, and I'm up to you for an intro. Do you want me to intro? Do you want you to intro?
I'm rusty.
You're rusty, but at least if I come up with the Has Hollywood Run Out of Ideas, you can just come in with shit. I don't know. I want you to say you're back, but
okay, I'm back, baby.
Yeah,
something like you have that now if you want it.
I like it. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Remake, where we try to answer the question, has Hollywood truly run out of ideas?
And then I say something about, I'm still not a good one.
I don't have one
God.
We should have had this one in the bag. We should have had this one already figured out, because this is like a timeless movie with timeless characters. Everybody knows what a Terminator is. We make jokes about them all the time. Ever since the ChatGPT thing came out, too, it's been another like, oh yeah, this is gonna lead to Skynet. Be nice to ChatGPT. Make sure you say please and thank you.
This movie's a bad example, I think, of has Hollywood run out of ideas, because this movie is considered to have invented a genre. Tech noir.
Tech noir.
That is the genre that James Cameron coined for this film.
I'm assuming prior to steampunk. Actually, I don't know. Steampunk might have been around first.
No, it's prior to. Okay. My understanding of steampunk is that it started with Tank Girl.
Oh, yes. That's a good one to look into.
At least with the name of it.
So we're going to be looking at movies that started a franchise. This is awkward. We're going to figure this out. We're getting the cobwebs off. Erica's back. Do you want to know why she's back? Let her tell you why she's back.
Yeah, better than ever. No, all of these are all lies.
Everything I've said for the past however many episodes was a lie. I hope one of you guys got that. One of them was a reference to the movie Good Burger. One of them I made up on the spot about a heavy metal rocker who vows revenge on Erica. That didn't happen as far as I know.
Not yet. But close. That one was close.
What?
Yeah.
It was close? I know where she was. Guys, I know where she was.
No, I thought about coming up with a really elaborate story about it, but I think the truth is the most fun.
Yeah, tell people what you were up to.
I was hired as a gear tech for the old punk band Gang of Four.
Mm-hmm.
Post-punk band Gang of Four. And that was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up, and it's all over now, and I'm so glad that I did it.
You must feel like you have, so after I finish a long film with people I really like, I feel weirdly attached, and I just start thinking, oh my God, when am I going to see you guys again? And you probably will, but you might not. There's this weird feeling of like, aw, it's over. But there's also like, yes, it's over. We did it. It's like, is that the same thing for music?
It felt like that on this tour for sure. I was so exhausted by the end, but also just so sad that we were all parting.
Aw.
The crew that we had and the band, like everybody got along really well, and just really, we had a lovely time. But it was also kind of grueling because it's 6 weeks on the road with, only a handful of days free.
Wow.
And free days aren't necessarily super free depending on what's going on. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I really loved it, and now I'm going to do a few dates this fall with the B-52s.
Yes, she is.
No, it's not even better. It's just also good.
I love that. She's so fair to everybody she works with. She's a wonderful human, and you should always hire her. Anyway. That's my advertisement for Erica.
Thanks, Bridget.
You're welcome. So I was excited to remind Erica that she was in a Terminator kick before she left on tour. And I'm like, I like Terminator. Terminator is one of my favorite 80s movies. Like, actually, to be fair, one of my favorite 1991 movies, Terminator 2. But between like that and the Back to the Future era, those two franchises, I really like both for different reasons. So I did remind Erica you were thinking about Terminator, and she immediately changed all of her plans, and she's like, we're doing Terminator.
A lot's happened since then. I didn't have a good memory.
It's okay. It's been like 6 weeks since I've seen you, so it's great. But yeah, we're looking at a franchise that there's many movies now. Oh my goodness. I would say there's the original two, and there's everything that came after.
That's how I feel right now because I haven't seen any of the other ones yet. Which is really something I probably shouldn't be admitting right now.
No, I think that's fair.
And, you know, I really wanted to keep watching them just because we were going to do this episode and just so I would have seen all of them before we talked about even just the first two. But I couldn't find number 3 streaming anywhere.
Yeah, I literally looked up number 3 as soon as I finished 2. And I'm like, I know I've seen this once on TV, maybe just a piece of it. I remember being annoyed and thinking it didn't fit and this is just not how it ends. But I kind of wanted to see it again because I just want to see Arnold in action again. I just want, like, once I'm into a world I love. Guys, I love franchise movies. Sometimes I just want to see more of that world, and sometimes it's okay if there's a misstep. Like I told you, I was going through the Aliens movies. There are some that aren't as good. There are some that are literally the same movie with different characters. Sometimes that's just, you know, kind of want to be in that world again. Maybe not with a face hugger. I don't know if I have better chances with a cyborg, but luckily I'm hoping I won't have to figure that out. So this franchise is wild. It has claimed 2 billion with a B in the worldwide box office, and it all started from an independent film with a small budget, so they said.
You know what? It's like that's all they talked about in the interviews that I watched is how tiny the budget was. And then when I looked it up, it was like, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. It was 6.4 million, and that was a bit of an estimate. So it's probably not that exactly, but still I was like, okay, like that's not a huge, like, obviously we've heard of way bigger budgets for movies, and especially ones with a lot of special effects. Right. It's a lot of labor that goes into those things because a lot of the special effects in the Terminator were practical.
Oh, I love the effect. Especially, it's so charming to see where they came from. There's some digital effects. There are some digital effects, but the puppetry that they use to go between to get the close-ups, like a foot stomping on something or whatever, that stuff blended really well, and I really liked it.
Let us begin. The Terminator, 1984, was released. The filming of this was delayed by an entire year because Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had been chosen to play the Terminator, was filming Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, I didn't know that was around the same time.
Yes.
That's cool.
And I think that movie came out in 83, 82 or 83. Okay. I'm not sure, but their filming was delayed for the better part of a year.
Okay, for his availability.
I mean,
he's in 90% of the scenes, so that makes sense.
He's in a lot of it, yeah. I think they had gotten started before he was available by a little bit of time, maybe with some of the like miniatures and special effects kinds of things that they had to get.
Well, they had to make a whole model.
That stuff takes time, and they probably, they were like, well, we can go ahead and do this stuff at least. One of the other complicating factors in their filming schedule was that Linda Hamilton had broken her ankle shortly before filming was to begin.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So they didn't delay filming altogether for that point, but they had to rearrange a lot of the filming schedule.
Oh, wow. I didn't know she broke her ankle.
So there's one scene like later on where the Terminator is in the big oil tanker truck trying to run her over.
Yeah.
And she's running away. And that's when Kyle Reese puts the explosive in the the exhaust pipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see her running and she's kind of like limping a little bit as she runs. But at no point did they like show her getting injured, during that point. So I think that's just a product of her having a sore ankle, even though they were like wrapping it really carefully for filming. But that's why they had to move a lot of the running scenes for her toward the end of filming.
Wow. I didn't even realize. I think I just assumed she'd gotten injured at that point in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make that assumption, right? Yeah, because she's been running away from this creature for however long now. And he won't die!
Literally an unstoppable killing machine. That's scary. I remember this movie giving me nightmares when I was really little.
Yeah?
Thinking the Terminator was going to come after me or something. Because I had a very vivid imagination. It didn't slow me down from watching any of these movies. From anything like this. Oh man, I was watching all kinds of things that kids should not be watching.
That's a good point. I feel like while my parents are not the kind of people who even now want to watch things that are R-rated, as a child, even if something was scary, if I was at a friend's house and they were going to watch it, I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
So, and I probably got some nightmares doing that. I didn't see Terminator until I was an adult, unfortunately.
Okay. You could have had those nightmares too, but no.
So I just had to be left out.
Well, see, as a kid, I was like weirdly just afraid of skeletons, just skeletons in general. Yeah. I don't know if that came about because of the stop motion skeletons in, what was that, Jason and the Argonauts or something? Yeah. But there was something about skeletons that could move that freaked me out. So the Terminator, when he's in his Terminator form, no meat suit on the outside.
Meat suit.
That's what scared me.
That's fair. I mean, it's creepy. He just like won't stop.
Yeah, no.
He's like, you can see he's got like damage to one of his legs because he's kind of like dragging it behind him from the oil tank explosion on.
And that's it, dude. That's it.
That's it.
'Tis but a flesh wound. Anyway.
Just a flesh wound. Okay. This movie was directed by James Cameron.
Yes, it was.
No surprise. It was written by James Cameron along with Gail Ann Hurd, who is a producer that he's worked with on several films. I think this might have been their first one together.
I feel like this was their first one. I think so.
Yeah, from what I gathered, that was their first one. But they actually ended up being married for a few years.
Oh, dang.
From, I think, 85 to 89, if I'm remembering right.
Wow.
I should be referring to my notes. Maybe that would be good.
Erica has great notes that she takes, and then she just sits here and guesses for a minute until she goes back and refers to the notes.
Silly.
I love you. It's okay. I missed
you too.
I missed your presence.
I watched this movie 3 times in preparation for this episode, and the second and the third times that I watched it, I counted how many words Arnold said.
There's a statistic about that. I forget what it was.
It's 58 words. But you know what it actually is?
What?
I didn't total it up, actually. But I counted, and both times it's like over 100. So
really?
I don't know where they're getting this 58 words thing.
So it's not actually, unless they're like, oh, if he said I'll more than once, that doesn't count.
Oh.
Maybe that was how they did it.
That's how they would have to count not times when he was speaking in someone else's voice, too. Right,
because he talks as, oh, wait, hold on, I'm thinking of the second one. He talks in somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
I forget. But yeah, okay, so that stat was not accurate.
He speaks in Sarah Connor's mother's voice at one point.
Her mother?
She's at the hotel with Kyle Reese. That's the night that they have sex.
Yes, Mom, I'm fine. I'm over here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. So I wrote, Terminator speaks 58 words, 14 lines? No.
I'm glad that you checked this. Erica's here to set the record straight, everybody.
136 the first time I counted.
Oh, wow.
Which, during the rifle purchasing scene, which obviously he didn't purchase them, he just killed the guy and left with all the guns. But during that scene, when he was saying the names of things, the first time I counted them, I started counting each individual word, like 1L, blah, 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 whatever, would count as separate words.
Okay, I didn't think of that.
But then the second time I counted, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe, like, the name of something is one counts as one word.
Oh, that's funny.
But I still got, let's see. I still got 137 that time.
Okay. So, yeah, the whole he only speaks 58 words thing is a little not accurate. So now we know, and when you see those listicles online, you can leave a nice angry comment there. We're just trying to do the world a service over here.
I mean, this is why we do this work, people.
This is the good work, everybody. I could be like curing something out there. I could be like feeding the hungry. Instead, I'm doing a podcast. Oh, sorry.
No, I just found my note where it says, okay, so my note was, he was married to Gail Ann Hurd from 85 to 89. They were together during the filming of T1.
Wow.
The Terminator.
Okay.
And then I didn't find out the dates, but he was also married to Linda Hamilton at one point.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how many times this guy's been married, but I know he's not with either of those women at this
He's
point.
been married a few. He was busy, apparently. Well, I'm surprised he wasn't married to Arnold after that.
They do seem to like each other an awful lot. I watched an interview with them.
They're like bros.
Yeah.
Like, just reading some of the stuff I read about those two. Like,
I mean,
Arnold really pulled for him. He really believed, and he calls him Jim, too, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Jim.
Yeah.
I guess his credit, he likes to be called James Cameron.
I think so, yeah.
I didn't even finish telling us who wrote this film. Okay, so we're going to start there again. This film was written by James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, and also William Wisher.
Right.
Who I'm guessing was somebody that he lived with at some point, or was a buddy of his.
He was a writing partner. That's all I could figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, so they probably had written together before this, I'm assuming. If this was their first go-round, I mean, that's pretty amazing. But,
yeah.
Yeah, and in Gail Ann Hurd, we know her name. Also, she's also famous for The Walking Dead more recently.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, no, her name is on a lot of amazing franchises and properties. So, like, good for you, boss lady.
Yeah. Good job.
I started writing the DP on these lists, too, because I'm like, we need to start giving credit. Also, quick aside, and I'm not going to spend long on this. Why does IMDb list the director and the actors and not the DP? The DP is doing like half the imagining with the director for creating a look, for creating a film. I feel like they need to be on the front page and I don't have to click and then scroll through 100 names to figure out who lends the damn movie. Anyway, Adam Greenberg, shout out to you.
These poor directors of photography just sitting in the shadows, being ignored by everyone.
Look at this. I am pulling for you. You deserve more recognition than at awards shows. Also, I'm a great B-cam op. So if you're... if you're needing some help.
I will second that. She is a great cam op. All right, DP, Adam Greenberg.
Indeed.
I'm not familiar with this name. Do you know of anything else he's done? I did not look him up.
I know he did Terminator 2.
Well, that's good. Oh my god, I'm dying over here.
Adam Greenberg was busy. Here, I'm going to list some of the things.
Well, when you have Terminator in your credits.
He's got Terminator, Terminator 2, Turner and Hooch. Ghost. Yes, that Ghost. Sister Act. Junior.
Okay. So he has been busy.
Rush Hour. Inspector Gadget. The Santa Claus 2. Snakes on a Plane.
Oh,
That's not all of them. Those are just the titles I recognize. Anyway, he's been busy, so good for you.
So that's a sampling of Adam Greenberg's career. Wonderful. Okay, so this film... The stars of the Terminator include Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. He plays the Terminator. He was originally considered to play Kyle Reese.
What?
I know. It's kind of wild, isn't it? Because he
seems
a little weird. Like
not
a sensitive guy. Like, at least, you know, he has such a presence. I mean, he was a bodybuilder around that time.
I just assumed
he was still very, like...
I feel like they just typecast him because he was a big bodybuilder guy, and they're like, this guy looks like a machine. That's all I figured he was cast on.
Well, they did, but it is, but also he read the script and apparently really connected more with the character of the Terminator than he did with the Kyle Reese character.
That's actually really amazing, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson also was considered.
Oh God,
he was
could
offered
you
the
imagine?
Terminator role, but he didn't think he was right for it. So
God, thank you for that small favor.
I know. Something good that Mel Gibson has done.
Thank you for doing a good deed in 1983 or so.
Staying out of a role so that we can continue to love it. So yeah, he went and had a lunch with James Cameron to talk about the role of Kyle Reese, and neither of them apparently was very convinced that he should play it, but they didn't know that the other felt that way.
Oh, okay.
So they had this lunch, they part ways, and both of them say to their people, actually, I think Arnold should play Terminator. And Arnold says to his agent, actually, I'd like to play the Terminator.
That's amazing.
And so then the people have a call with the other people, and it all worked out swimmingly. Also starring in this film, Linda Hamilton.
Love her so much.
She is third in the billing in the credits, but she plays our heroine, as we all know, Sarah Connor, and Michael Biehn, who I adore personally. He plays Kyle Reese. He was also in Aliens 2 years later, which is also why I love him.
I think I did recognize his face from something else. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a cutie. And he's a good actor too. I really appreciate his acting
I liked
skills.
that he could portray a soldier, but also have like a tenderness, because you have to believe that she could fall in love with him in one night.
Yes,
Which,
exactly.
yeah, end of the world. She's like, he's nice. Let's go. Let's go with him. But yeah, no, that's cool. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Um,
Also in this film, Lance Henriksen, who was also in Aliens as the android. If I'm using the wrong robot term, please forgive me. But
I think it's androids and aliens in the Aliens franchise, and it's cyborgs here.
Right.
Because cyborgs, I guess, are part human, part machine, but it's really just like the skin that's a living tissue. But they're anyway.
Right.
I just watched these movies multiple times recently.
It sounds like you might have a definition for android also, do you?
Humanoid robot? I don't know. I'm not sure about androids. You're right.
Okay.
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Oh, we can't get into that right now.
I got nothing for that. Anyway.
Well, also starring in this film is Paul Winfield, who played Lieutenant Traxler.
I can't imagine being in such big movies at this time period.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Paul Winfield was also in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which was before this.
Okay.
In 82. And then Cliffhanger in 93 and Mars Attacks in 96.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a couple of things.
What a filmography.
I know. Super fun.
So, IMDb rating is 8.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes score 100%, tomato meter 89%, popcorn meter.
Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah, I thought it would be the other way around, but I'm still delighted at how high it is.
Or at least the popcorn meter would have been higher.
Yeah, I thought that would be like 90s, but we'll see. The budget for this one, as we said, was $6.4 million. Opening US and Canada, $4 million. Gross worldwide, $78 million. They made money hand over cyborg fist.
Yep, and the longer they didn't make a sequel, the more people wanted a sequel.
Yeah, and it was delayed, as we will talk about later.
Yes, we will.
I was able to watch the first movie on Max, so this is from Max. Arnold Schwarzenegger is unforgettable as an unstoppable cyborg who is sent back in time to kill a young woman in this sci-fi classic. If that doesn't sound like a description that was tacked on after everybody knew about this movie for 20, 30 years, I don't know what does.
I think that we can pretty safely say that this is one of the first... Well, it is the first sci-fi action film, right?
When did Alien come out?
79. And
that's very close.
James Cameron has openly admitted that Alien was an influence on him.
Okay.
Which, I mean, how could it not be, right? That's not really like...
I would say that's a good way.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you think of these incredible, iconic 80s action and horror movies, these women were badass. Like, we had a run of badass women in these movies. And even if you're just thinking of Sarah Connor and Ripley, they're amazing. And they spawn so much from, like, from inspiring other characters in the future and other genre movies. Like, that makes a difference.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the things that in this movie makes it so powerful is the fact that you see her developing into this badass character.
Yeah.
You see her at the beginning, she's a waitress in a restaurant, this kid's putting ice cream in her pocket, and she's giving she just can't figure out who gets what order. There's people hollering for her to bring them coffee, and that she needs to go take their order, and she's struggling. You can see it. But then she's going out on a Friday, getting ready and with her roommate.
That was really, really sweet for a time until her boyfriend is like, I don't feel like going out tonight or something. What a jerk.
Yeah, I think he just said, I can't make it.
Oh.
And he said he would call her in a day or two. And her roommate got upset about it. But, it's very like normal stuff that happens in someone's life.
Her roommate is also the most.
She's the most, but I think she's fun.
Yeah. She's just bopping to her music constantly, and I wrote a note.
Even during sex. That's the one that gets me. I'm like, you're listening to headphones while you're fucking.
These headphones are on her all the time. I wrote a note in my notes. It said, half the intro plot happens because Sarah's roommate Ginger listens to her Walkman too loud. She misses the phone call. She misses this. She misses that. She misses Sarah.
Okay, she has her headphones in so she doesn't hear the phone. What about Matt?
What's his deal?
He's not wearing headphones. Can't he be like, hey, the phone's ringing?
He's just ignoring it.
He must be. That's the only
Yeah.
explanation.
Wow. Yeah, no, he's not going to stop while they're in the act.
I mean, that's fair.
I guess, yeah.
I wouldn't stop for the phone either.
But no, Ginger's bopping to her music for most of the movie. And at some point she says, machines need love too. She doesn't know what a Terminator is. It's just she says machines need love too, and this is said by Ginger, someone who is about to not be loved by a machine.
Yep. What does she say? So talk to it.
Like,
but wait for the beat. I've only heard it 3 times in the last 2 days. Oh, there's like confusion about the model of the Terminator.
It's a model. Okay, so I wrote this down too because I got confused. I've always known Arnold's Terminator was a T-800, and the silver liquid one in the second one is a T-1000 because they say it so many times. But he does say he's a Model 101.
Yes.
So which is it? Both?
Yeah.
I guess it is. And so I don't know why they did that because that's needlessly confusing to the audience.
Yes, it is confusing.
Unless they changed it from one movie to the next. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think I heard him say T-800 in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
But then just maybe the one time, and then all the other times it was Model 101.
Yeah.
When it did come up, which wasn't very much.
Series this, model this. I don't know. There's
definitely some, like, issues with this film as far as, like, logistical filmmaking goes.
Okay.
I'll, like, touch on them a little bit, but, like, I don't really care. I gotta be honest, I really don't care.
Yeah, you can love a movie and still realize that their continuity is messed up or something.
Yeah.
I've got one of those
I
for
agree.
this movie. You probably have it too.
Yeah.
You with the police in the police station?
The police in the station?
Yeah.
What's yours? Wait,
so the police chief is talking to one of the other officers. I wasn't really paying attention to hierarchy. He says to the other guy, hey, give me a cig. But the police chief already has a lit cigarette in his hand, and he takes the second cigarette, and the scene ends, and I'm like, that had to be a continuity mistake. Why did
you think so?
It was a full lit cigarette in his one hand.
I thought it was to show that he was stressed out.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
He's not looking at his hand. He's like, give me a cigarette, and then he picks up the pack, and then he goes to open the pack with his left hand, but his left hand has the cigarette, and then he's like, oh, I already have a cigarette, so he puts the pack down.
I read it as like, oops, and the actor's like, I'll just keep going with it.
I just thought that was, I mean, it may have been that, but like, it seemed purposeful to me.
Okay.
As like a joke.
I thought it was funny in either case.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
I mean, do we even need to go over the plot? Like, I have the plot written out for the second one, but like, but most of you guys know what the plot is. Just a general, like, okay.
I forgot how to do this, Bridget.
I know, you're so out of practice.
Because the description that you read out of Max is not.
It's not really enough. Helpful. And it's obviously being told with nostalgia. So we're in 1984, right?
Yep.
And
May 12th. 2 days after my second birthday.
Cheers. Oh, dang.
You know how I know that?
How do you know that? Because you watched it 3 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for doing your research. So, in 1984, Sarah Connor is your average woman. She's just doing her darndest to get through her life.
18-year-old.
She's 18?
Uh-huh.
They look different in the 80s.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Anyway, but, you know, at the same time as her story's going on, this muscular man from who knows where appears in a ball of lightning, completely nude, beats up some street toughs, gets some tough clothing, and goes on the prowl. This is Arnold's character, the Terminator.
And then Bill Paxton shows up. Like he do. Playing that douche character that he loves to play.
Another lightning thing happens, and Kyle Reese shows up, also naked, 'cause reasons. No non-living things or something can come through. That's why they keep making a point that the Terminators are encased in a living skin kind of thing.
That's the only way they can get through.
It's the only way they get through.
Is because they have living tissue on them.
But it also grounds it a little bit more in the time period because they can't bring weapons. They can't bring like a laser gun from the 2020s. You know, they have to get stuff from that time period.
Because we have those now.
Yeah, but it's also anyway.
Just kidding.
But anyway,
I
so
love this
Kyle
movie.
Reese is also on the way to find Sarah and basically warn her. And there's a lot
Protect her.
Yeah, he's there to protect her, but he's also there to be like, your son is going to be the leader of a future resistance. And this is going to be our best fight against the machines. And because he's such a great leader, they sent one of their machines back to kill you before he's born.
Because they had almost won the war.
They were close. And they were like, you know what? The people were close. Right?
Yeah. The humans were basically winning the war.
Right.
And this was like a last-ditch effort that
cheat.
Skynet, the computer system, had come up with to try.
Yeah. So like he tells her Judgment Day. It's in the late 90s, right? It's like 1997. He knows the exact date of Judgment Day. That's when this high-tech computer system, Skynet, goes up. It's a defense system, and it takes a mere matter of days for it to gain a personality and decide it doesn't like us very much and launch a bunch of nukes. And that's, basically the end of the world. And it creates these cyborgs, and they infiltrate people by looking like people. So, yeah, it's a battle between.
Because the humans began resisting.
Yeah, well, yeah, as humans are wont to do. So the resistance is, this ragtag group of people who would have had normal lives otherwise, but now have to fight these machines. So anyway, so you've got these two beings from the future, one robot, one not. And they're both after Sarah for different reasons. The cyborg Terminator is after her to kill her to stop the future leader of the resistance. And Kyle is after her to protect her. And then, well, they get together. I'm glossing over a lot. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of guns and car chases. And it's like really entertaining action. Lots of explosions. You cannot stop the Terminator by shooting him. Literally, he just kind of brushes it off. It's wild.
This movie is almost nonstop action.
It's literally nonstop action, I would say. There's a couple moments where it gets to calm down for a second. We get the police station scenes.
And those moments are still tense.
They're still tense. So, yeah, and it all comes to a head by the end of the movie, where this last-ditch effort to try to destroy this Terminator. Kyle blows up the truck that the Terminator's driving. It does some damage. It wounds its leg or something, but it doesn't last.
Well, no, the oil tanker burns the living tissue off of his skeleton.
and then he becomes just the skeleton, which that was the stuff that freaked me out.
But then the skeleton comes after them.
Yeah. Now, Kyle is not the main character. He does get killed off at this point. Mm-hmm. And now it's just up to Sarah, former waitress, former I can't possibly be this tough person you say I am, to lead him into some kind of
hydraulic press.
It's she brings him into this factory and there's a hydraulic press. So she sets it up so that she crawls through first, he crawls through after, and she squishes it to death. Yes, girl.
There's like some kind of little gate that she pulls down at the edge of the press once she gets through it. So that kind of like captures him for a moment, but then he's reaching through with his one arm.
He like kind of grabs her at that point too.
He almost has a grip on her, and then she goes, "You're terminated, fucker."
I love it.
And she hits the button that's like behind her, and it crushes what's left of the Terminator. Because at that point, he's only a half of.
Yeah, they think his legs
body
were shorn off at this point. Like he's there's not much left.
He's a torso,
but he just keeps going.
Yeah, he's a torso with a head and two arms.
Again, nightmares.
Yes.
So so I just wanted to quickly go over that in case I met the one person who has not seen or know any of the cultural references of this movie. I would want to note that one of my earliest notes in the movie was people were sweatier in the 80s. There was a lot of sweatbands too, Erica. It tracks.
When's the last time you watched Cheers?
Never.
Okay, there's an episode of Cheers early on where the guys in the bar are having a discussion / argument over what's the sweatiest film of all time. Okay. Alien gets brought up.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. Vasquez, the Steadicam arms they were using on the guns. Yeah.
Well, Diane and her fiance walk into the bar, and she's like, "Oh, they're having a discussion about what the sweatiest film of all time is. Thank God you're here so we can leave." And he leans over and he goes, "Cool Hand Luke." And then everyone's like, "Oh, Cool Hand Luke."
Okay, that's a good one too.
It's a very sweaty movie.
Yeah, it's very hot.
But yeah.
Very hot.
They did not mention Terminator, but I thought it was a funny thing,
like,
and you were just talking about
I
being
feel like
sweaty.
it was like
so
80s grunge look. It's like they're all so sweaty. That's a comment I had to make.
My other thought while watching this was that it isn't so much to me the robots taking over that concerns me, but the people who control them and what the hell those people think they're doing.
Right.
So Tech Noir is the name of the club that Sarah Connor hides in when she realizes that Kyle Reese is following her.
This is a great scene that I totally forgot about.
Yes. So, of course, she doesn't know what his name is at this point or what he's doing there. Right. She thinks that he's there to kill her because she's seeing reports all day of people named Sarah Connor being murdered.
Yes.
And she looks in the phone book and sees that there are only 3 Sarah Connors in the phone book.
Right.
And she is the last of the Sarah Connors. So she is freaked out. She tries to get a hold of the cops while she's in this club. And Kyle Reese is following her. He appears at the bar and is like watching her from afar. And this is the only time in the whole film that Michael Biehn and Arnold Schwarzenegger are in the same frame.
Oh.
Because later on in the film, when the Terminator gets close, he's a puppet.
Oh, right.
Or he's just the rope. He's just the like metal skeleton.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but I did notice in that scene it's like a meet cute in a rom-com where someone's looking one direction and the other person's looking the other direction, and they always like miss each other's eyes. She like bends down to pick up something as the Terminator walks by her.
It's such a tense shot. It's like slow-mo where he's like walking by and scanning the room with his eyes while she's like picking up the ginger ale she knocked over.
She was lucky.
Very lucky moment. Of course, he finds her a few minutes later, but that's when Kyle Reese comes to the rescue, and that's when they get out. And he says, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yes.
Like, he needs her to live. So I'm a little bit like, that's maybe not, you know. He's there to make sure that she lives. So if he shouldn't be leaving it up to whether or not she wants to live.
Come with me. I want you to live.
Come with me. I need you to live. You're the mother of our savior.
I'm like, wait.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Yeah. So Tech Noir is the name of that club. And they chose that name because James Cameron had coined this genre term.
Okay.
They built it out. It was an empty space. And there were people apparently who thought it was a real club and were trying to come in and pay them money. Apparently they were so tight on their budget at that point that they considered letting random people in and taking their money to let them party.
Holy crap. They literally paid to be an extra.
Yeah, they considered. They didn't end up doing it.
Oh, but still.
But they considered it.
Did I tell you about the short film? Actually, yeah, you saw my film Hit or Miss. When we had that cafe and we were filming in the cafe, tons of flags and stuff blocking the windows, tons of lights, tons of extras and period specific clothing. We had someone walk up through all the crew members, around all the light stands, walk up to my gaffer at the counter and say, "Can I have a coffee?" And he was holding a light and he's like, "We're not open."
Read the room, people.
I still can't believe they walked through all those people and didn't realize.
It just, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I've never been that in my head before, but I feel like if I walked into a place and the person who I thought was going to be a barista was holding a light with a soft box on it, I would think, something's amiss here. And I might be in the wrong place.
I mean, it's just funny that happened. And it happens a lot when we're filming at these kind of places. People try to walk in. They'll walk past a sign that says filming. They'll walk past a sign that says closed. You know, yeah. It is kind of funny.
They're on a mission and you can't stop them.
Yeah, but my coffee,
They're not going to let the terrorists win.
Don't let the terrorists win. This thing happens in the second movie, too, where they're shooting in the biker bar scene. There's a person who tries to walk in then too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually really funny because Arnold walks in. This is in the second movie. Arnold walks into the biker bar to get clothing and a motorcycle. You know, he's just gonna rob them.
Yeah, no big deal.
He's naked. So a woman walked in, saw him in his Bermuda shorts, and he said, "It's male stripper night," and the woman ran out the door.
I'm not sure if I would have left or not. I got to be honest. I'm on the fence.
I'd be curious.
I might have been.
A minute.
I'm gonna I wonder how this ends. Okay, so there's a shot during one of Kyle Reese's flashbacks.
Okay.
which is, of course, scenes of the fighting with the machines
in
and the
2029.
skulls getting driven over, and Kyle and another of the soldiers like throwing grenades at this big tank. By the way, that grenade was only like 2 inches long.
Oh,
it was like
so
small. Because they used miniatures for that.
Oh my gosh. And it was great. Like you can tell now with the layers where the actors are in the foreground and the miniatures are in the background, where they have these giant like tank like things running, going by, scanning the area. Those are miniatures. There are ships going overhead. Those are miniatures. But it looks so good.
Yeah.
If you couldn't see that little bit of an outline around our foreground elements and all that, I think it would still sell really well. But I mean, I think it works.
I think it works. And again, like even in moments where I'm like looking at it with eyes that are picking out the things that were constructed, you know, like seeing the forced perspective that was created by Stan Winston, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still so here for it. I don't mind it at all. Like,
everything Stan Winston worked on,
but I think
it looks banger.
Yeah. And I think it looks really good. Like he's got the perspective really well.
Yeah.
In hand. And you know, a lot of the smokiness that they created, that helps with creating that illusion. That's one of the reasons why they used it so much in those flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's a small child who is watching a television that has emptied out guts and it's just on fire inside.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, how are these kids watching TV? And then you see it from their perspective. They're just watching a little bonfire. I'm like, oh, that ain't right.
Yeah. But, you know, maybe I'm wondering if that was the inspiration for the Yule log videos. Maybe there's an appeal there. I wrote down, I'm not sure they got enough cool shots of Nikes.
Oh my
the
gosh.
very blatant shot of his feet when Kyle Reese is running away from the cops. There's a very blatant shot of him putting his feet down in the photo booth.
I saw that.
And then he puts the strap around his ankle and the Nikes.
Yep.
And there's another shot when he and Sarah are both wearing Nikes where it's just their feet.
It's just their feet. Literally, the product placement almost takes you out for a second, but it's kind of precious.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's certainly not the most blatant I've seen, but you know, it does stick out a bit.
It's like the Mattel hoverboard in Back to the Future. Like the product placement's there, but like whatever. It does. At least they didn't go that extra mile where everything's product placement.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to pay that $6 million budget somehow.
I mean, films need money, and there's a lot to making a film. So in that way, you know, I get it. Oh, I said I was going to talk about the continuity things.
Oh, yeah.
So there's several with the sound, which apparently was like a very small part of the budget because
ADR.
they had spent a lot on sound effects. On special effects, excuse me. So I was trying to talk about the continuity, you know, filmmaking logistical kind of issues, which again, I don't care about. But since we're here, a lot of them are sound based, where like with the guy at the beginning where the speaking doesn't match up with his lips.
Right.
Things where like one gun goes off too early, or it's a sound of a different kind of gun, which is never going to be on my radar. I'm not a gun person. I don't care what gun noise you use for any other gun. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna pick up on that kind of thing. But at one point Kyle Reese hot wires a car the wrong way.
That looked weird, didn't it? It was like he pinched these two little wires. I'm like, I don't think that was enough.
Yeah, he like winds them together, but apparently like that wouldn't have been what you did with the ones that actually started it up.
Right.
So yeah, anyway. Again, I don't actually care, but that is a thing that happened. The cop car that the Terminator, Arnold, steals has a number 1874 on the side. And a little while later, you see two cops driving that same car in the parking deck when Kyle and Sarah are switching cars when they're evading.
I didn't realize.
After they escape at the club.
I remember seeing the number because part of my brain was trying to analyze things. And I'm like, I wonder if that number is significant.
I don't think the number itself is significant. I just think they had to use that cop car more than once.
They did. They obviously did. But you should have hid the numbers like script soup. Get to it.
Yeah. Oh, one cool thing about the sound. This is not a continuity issue. We're done with those because I don't care about them. The music that Brad do you know how to say his last name?
Let me look at it real quick. It's Fiedel.
Fiedel? I don't know. Anyway, he did really great work on this film, I think. He was very enthusiastic about working on it. he performed all of the music, all of the instruments that you hear in the soundtrack were performed live while recording. Like he performed them individually. They weren't programmed.
Oh.
There was like one drum machine with a sequence that he used, and everything else is him actually, as he said, fighting his synthesizers in his garage.
Oh my gosh.
But he like set out to create something that sounded very mechanical. Like he wanted like a mechanical sounding heartbeat kind of film or kind of score.
Yeah, you start to feel that in the first movie.
I think it worked. Yeah. I think he achieved what he set out to achieve.
I made a note that it's like overly synthed and like electronic, but not. Yeah. And it like gives you that feeling of something futuristic.
Totally.
And dangerous coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
That heartbeat sound, that doo-doo, like that is so iconic. And it's in all of the themes. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I think he did a great job.
I agree.
Are you going to talk about Harlan Ellison?
Yes.
Oh, I took notes on this.
All right, so timeline-wise, let's talk about that for a second. So The Terminator came out in 1984. This was James Cameron's, I'm proving myself movie.
Right.
Orion Pictures was the only production company that greenlit this film with him as the director. Every other studio wanted the film, but they didn't want him as the director.
Right, unless you're already hot stuff. The odds of you being able to direct your own movie, if you're going through a studio system, it's not very good. Like, they usually want to replace you with somebody who has a track record.
Which is wild, because how do you get a track record if no one gives you a chance?
How do I get experience if you require experience? This is the resume problem all over again.
Yes. It's infuriating to hear about.
But yeah, guys, if you can come up with your own funding for your own film, it's a lot easier to direct your own stuff, but it's a lot harder to get money. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
with the help of Gale Ann Hurd, he managed to get the budget that he did get for this film. Even Orion Pictures, they had to fight them to get advertising done properly. Due to these budgeting restrictions, Terminator 1 and 2 actually was the whole story that he had written originally.
Oh.
So, because of the budget restraints, he had to cut it in half.
What?
So Terminator 1 is actually just the first half of the story that he originally put together.
I am mind-boggled to think that these two stories were going to be put into one thing.
It's a lot of stuff, right? Like, if you had a whole film with all of that in it, then,
That's a lot. That's a novel. That's
he
a novel
kind of went on
parts.
to make movies like that, right? Like, he's got, he did Titanic, that was an epic one. Avatar was an epic one.
Oh my gosh, you're right. He never learned to be short-winded.
Only when necessity dictated it.
Well, good for you that you learned that lesson early and promptly forgot it. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
You've done some really big stuff, and I would be honored to be your B camera. Anyway.
The other reason that Terminator 2 got made later was because the special effects technology wasn't yet equipped to do the liquid metal thing that they needed for that part of the story.
Yep, I did a lot on that too, yeah.
Once he made The Abyss and he saw how that technology worked, he was like, oh, okay, now we can do Terminator 2 at some point, and we'll have what we need to make it really come to life.
They turned that effect up to 11 because that T-1000 morphs into all different shapes and people. So, they once they figured that technology out, they were able to run with it. And, it's honestly, it still looks pretty good. Sorry.
I agree. I like
the first movie. I should get back to the first movie. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I brought it up.
I'm going to blame myself anyway.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. So, while I was watching this film, I was thinking, who is the protagonist of this film?
Oh, my God.
Because if you think about the usual definition of a protagonist, it would be Sarah Connor, right? Like, she's the hero. Mm-hmm. But this movie is really about the Terminator. It's really about the villain. And even James Cameron literally said, I'm quoting, "This movie is not about the hero. It's about the Terminator."
Oh my God.
He literally said that.
That's why we get so many scenes and also a bunch of point of view shots directly from the Terminator. Partly to show it's a machine. This is how it's scanning the region. But also we're literally seeing through his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good. And he's also one of the only characters who's in... Sorry. Yeah, I think he is the only character in the first 3 movies.
Oh, really?
I don't think Sarah Connor's in the third one.
Oh.
I don't think so. Again, I couldn't see it.
Well,
I saw
haven't
a trailer.
seen it. Yeah.
They recast
we could
everybody
look it up, maybe.
except for him. Anyway.
Yeah, because Arnold does get top billing in this film. The order in the credits is Arnold Schwarzenegger, then Michael Biehn,
Wild,
then Linda Hamilton,
Wilder,
then Lance Henriksen,
yeah,
and then Paul Winfield.
Huh. And that's usually due to how much they're being paid.
Mm.
But yeah, I would argue that Sarah Connor is our heroine. She's our main character. She's the one who has to learn to have her own agency and fight for her life and the life of her child eventually.
You see her develop over this film.
But maybe this is truly a dual protagonist story where we're seeing the villain's side and the hero's side.
Maybe so.
Yeah, because like in a lot of movies, you'll pick one or the other, right? You get your hero or maybe you have an anti-hero. But there's only the occasional one where they'll show you equally what the bad guys are doing and what the good guys are doing.
Yes.
So that's you have to make a choice when you're writing a story like that.
And as we said earlier, the Terminator speaks 137 words, not 58, in this film.
The hill she has decided to die on.
I'm sticking to it.
I believe her.
The Terminator is the only character in the American Film Institute's 100 Heroes and Villains list to be noted as both a villain for Terminator 1 and a hero for Terminator 2.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good little turnaround, yeah. And I also have to say I'm a sucker for that, too.
I think that's really interesting, like taking the villain in the first movie and then switching the whole thing around into the second one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting idea. And I don't think a lot of people have done that even since then. Of course, we got like the Breaking Bad story arc for Walter White, right? Like, but that was like a development of a character over time.
I'm trying to think of another story where the villain becomes the hero by the second one. I feel like something exists out there, but I feel like this is obviously the best example of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was going through the timeline. So he does the Terminator. This is his first like big feature film that comes out and gets. I mean, it's huge. This movie is huge.
Yeah.
Then in '86, he gets to make Aliens, also with Gale Ann Hurd. He's still married to her at this point. And with Aliens, I think it's interesting the way that he approached it.
Okay.
But it also kind of makes sense because I think he thinks of himself as an action movie director.
Ooh.
Or at least he did at the time. I think maybe he probably thinks he's more nuanced now. And of course, he's done a lot of different things over the years. But at that point, I was thinking, so an action movie director set out to make a sci-fi film, basically.
Okay, I mean, I could see that. Also, I always thought of the first movie as closer to a horror action film for some reason. But maybe because the
sci-fi horror. Yeah.
Sci-fi horror. And then the second one is more action.
Yeah.
More like...
It's more like an action movie.
Yeah.
And with those kinds of elements in it.
It does kind of morph from one movie to the next. Alien did that too.
I love that it developed that way.
Yeah, Alien did that too. The first movie is straight sci-fi horror.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is more sci-fi horror action, I guess.
Yeah. Which I think is great because what do you do when you're following Ridley Scott? You know what I mean? Like... He was still new to filmmaking, even though he was very skilled at that point still, and he had just made a blockbuster film.
Right.
He was still following somebody who had Ridley Scott's reputation. And following this movie that he loved, that a lot of people really love. Like, how do you follow that and continue the story in a way that isn't going to make everyone angry? And that's going to make sense. Like... And I think he did well with his choices in that. I
think so too, because if it was just 2 movies of Arnold's Terminator coming to kill Sarah, I mean that feels redundant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about a franchise that has many movies in it, all about killer robots.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I feel like especially for the first 2, they differentiate themselves because one gets reprogrammed, and sent back as a protector. And I'm a sucker for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for it.
So because of the way T1 ends, the people in the future have to send back more Terminators.
Yeah, you just have to keep it. Also, how cheap is this time travel technology that we can just willy-nilly send anybody back? They keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we're mismanaging this resource. I mean, they are. I guess it's the robots mostly, and then we're sending people back.
So after Aliens in 1986... He works on The Abyss with Gale Ann Hurd also. That was released in 1989. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it yet, it really is worth a watch. Very stressful, very tense. It's a really well done film.
Yeah.
And then the next thing he releases in 1991, of course, is the Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Should we wait until we get to that movie? We have more for this first one, right?
I have
I'm already
two more things for this one.
I'm already gonna make this 2 episodes.
Oh,
We are at 1 hour and 8 minutes.
are you fucking serious?
I'm not even kidding. It's okay. It's fine. It gives us a bonus episode. But well, that means I'll just have to do another intro. That's okay. I guess. I mean, the Harlan Ellison stuff I think is worthy of mentioning for the first one.
That was the second thing I was going to mention. So one of the things that I was thinking about while I was watching this, because there's 2 sex scenes in this film. In only one of them do you see a woman's breasts.
Yeah, that's true.
I acknowledge that sex scenes are always going to be a tricky thing to film. I think even when you're doing it in the most ethical way that you can, with intimacy coordinators, making sure everyone's comfortable, it's always a little bit of a, it's a delicate thing to do.
It is, for sure.
I was thinking about one of my women's studies classes that I took in college. Haha, surprise, I took women's studies. Not news to anybody. There was a point that was made, and I don't remember if it was during a discussion in a class or something that I was reading. It's been long enough. I'm old enough. I don't remember now how exactly this came up, but I remember it was discussed a bit. A woman's breasts were sort of equated with a man's penis and balls, and because they're both kind of outward, right, from the body.
Okay.
In that way, if you think about it, like, how many movies are there bared breasts and how many movies are there bared penises? It's a very different number. Like, the ratio is way off balance there.
Absolutely. And they will even, like, especially in early movies on TV, I'm saying in the 90s, when movies went on TV, if there was a man's butt crack, they would blur the butt crack, which is wild. It
just speaks to how protected men are physically.
Yeah, well, we don't see... And then, like, people will make fun of a movie or something that shows this stuff, and they're like, that's too much. And it's like, yeah, but you guys got all these boobs, okay? We're just adjusting for inflation. Or deflation.
Now, to be fair, we do kind of see Arnold's penis in this film.
When he first appears, when he's all naked?
When he's walking up to Bill Paxton and his buddies, they do a full shot of him walking up to them, like full body
in
shot.
The shadow. Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of in shadow. There's like
okay,
kind of the light kind of goes back and forth because his legs are while he's walking, so you can kind of see it. It's not like very clear, but
wow.
So I guess to be fair, that's there, but I don't know. It's just a thing that I thought about while I was watching it. Yeah. I thought I'd bring it up.
It's kind of funny. There's a few naked dudes in this one. And there's a lot of clever use of shadow to hide bits and pieces. And we saw all of Linda Hamilton. Well, not all of her. I guess her top.
Saw all of her breasts.
We saw all of her boobs. And I was like, wow, I know this movie is technically rated R, but I thought it was different in the 80s.
No.
Nope. Not in this case.
Not in this case.
That aside has been brought to you
by the UGA Women's Studies Department.
Excellent.
I'm just kidding. I just wrote down machines with principles. I have no idea what I was thinking when I wrote that down.
I love when I can't decipher my own notes.
And then my last thought was, well, that is a fucking action film if I've ever seen one.
Dang.
Did I say that clearly?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love it.
That's all I have.
My last thought after watching this movie, because it's been so long, I was just like, that holds up. Like, it still holds up. Just like the tenseness and the music and the score, putting everything all together and this unstoppable killing machine, it works. So
it works so well.
The movie still holds up.
Actually, I do have one other thing to add.
Ooh, what do you got?
Okay. I think one of the reasons why this movie works so well and is such a powerful action film is because you get the pieces of the story so that you understand what's going on and how everything came to pass.
Okay, yeah.
But you get all that information during the action.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay.
So there are some quiet moments where Kyle will explain something to her, like when they're hiding in the car in the garage. Like they're having a quiet moment and he'll explain some of it. But he'll also explain it while he's driving and, trying to get away from the Terminator or the cops. Like, they keep it going even when they're giving you the information. And I think that's a really powerful way to do it.
Yeah, I think the pace was incredible. Like it kept it going for mostly the whole time. The pace was up,
Yeah.
except for those little moments.
Yeah.
And even then, you're tense because you're hiding from a machine in a car or in, wherever they were.
Yeah.
No, I think it worked really well. Pacing was great. I feel like we could learn from this. Like, get to the action quickly, but also don't let your audience be confused about what motivations are.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little mystery in the beginning. She doesn't know what this thing is yet. That stuff that all plays in well for this first movie.
Yeah.
But like once things start going down, we need info and we need to make a plan. And she becomes a person who can make a plan. And I love it.
Like the very first thing we see is this mysterious man appearing nude.
Yeah.
And then after we see him like kind of orient himself in the world, then we see her get introduced.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a quieter moment. But like while we're watching her, we still have this image of in our heads of him, and like we're like, well, how does that fit in here? So we're already in the mystery.
Yeah.
And what I love is that he appears at the Griffith Observatory.
Is that where he is? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I get excited whenever I see that because I've been up there and it's really pretty.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. I never made it there, but I will someday.
You will. And you should.
Thank you.
Cool. That's Terminator 1.
That is Terminator 1. However, after the movie was released, a certain person was in the audience who was like, hey, wait a minute. That man was Harlan Ellison, who you might know as a novelist, author, writer, sci-fi person. I mean, I'll just tee it up and you can keep going with it if you want.
Sure.
So he saw Terminator and he's like, that sounds a lot like my Outer Limits episode. So so Harlan Ellison wrote an episode of The Outer Limits titled Soldier, which was based on his short story, Soldier from Tomorrow. And it was about two soldiers in the future, in a future where people are continually fighting an never-ending war, who are caught in a time warp. One of them ends up in 1964, who is befriended by a man who teaches the man from the future how to live his own life outside of being a soldier, blah, blah, blah. The rest of it doesn't even track. But Harlan Ellison was mad. Time travel, soldiers, war. That's clearly only my story.
Plagiarism is a difficult thing to prove, and I think from what I've gathered, James Cameron really wanted to go to court and just be like, prove it.
Yeah, he
did.
He had Orion Pictures didn't.
Yeah, he had this story. He claims that this story came to him while he was sick in Rome. He was having basically a fever dream of some kind, and he imagined this like metallic skeleton coming out of fire.
Ooh.
And so that was like the first image in his head in conceiving of the Terminator. And then it went on from there. So his claim is that he did not have any connection to this episode or the short story by Harlan Ellison. He felt like Harlan Ellison was being opportunistic.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. There's two stories here. There's Ellison's story. There's James Cameron's story. Somewhere between them is the truth. It is possible to be inspired by something you saw and write something derivative. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, a lot of things are inspired by other things. That's okay as long as you're not copying it.
And sometimes you can watch or hear something and then forget about it later, and then somehow it comes back into your creative mind and you accidentally write Wicked Games again.
I was going to make a similar argument where people have been like really excited to tell me their like short film idea or something, and I'll be like, oh yeah, such and such. And they're like, what? Yeah, I'm like, that's the plot of such and such. And they're like, no, mine's different.
That is the worst feeling.
Yeah, it's but I'm like, if you can find a way to make it slightly different, doesn't mean you can't make a time travel story, a story about two roommates in a spat. Like, like there's so many, there's so many stories, and yet there's a lot of similarities. So like,
yeah, if
you go back to the one story rule, all stories about someone on a journey or someone with a goal, and that's what every story's about.
Yeah,
unless it's Napoleon Dynamite, that's hard to argue.
But yeah, not on a journey, famously.
So James Cameron kind of shot himself in the foot from the articles I read, because Harlan Ellison had a screenwriter friend who visited set one day, and according to them, when asked about the story idea, Cameron said, "Oh, I ripped off a couple Harlan Ellison stories." Now, was that
What?
a real quote? Was it not?
Was
Who
it a
knows?
joke that he happened to have made?
Could have been a joke in bad taste. It could have been he was actually inspired by a story and wrote
That's
his own thing.
interesting.
But what's also concerning, I don't know if you saw
I
this
hadn't
too.
seen that, no.
So even
Well,
more
I don't
damning.
I don't know what you're about to say, but
Even more damning is an interview Cameron did with Starlog, which I think was a magazine. I wasn't sure what it was. He did an interview, and before it was published, it was edited by Gail Ann Hurd prior to publication, because in it, Cameron was quoted as saying he got the idea from an Outer Limits episode.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, not so cut and dry then. So
Nope.
maybe the movie studio was correct in forcing him to settle out of court, which is, of course, what he did.
They did settle, and
Even though he
apparently,
didn't want to.
Yeah, apparently they didn't. They won't release what number it was, but the estimate is it was between $65,000 and $70,000. That's a lot of money. But some reports said $400,000, all said and done. I don't know how that's even possible, but like, you know what? Every couple of years we hear another copyright claim, and sometimes some of them might hold water. Mars Attacks is one of them. I remember somebody arguing over that. Famously, Avatar was one of them. Someone claimed that they had the idea for Avatar, but when people looked into it, they're like, all you have is blue aliens. That's not the same story.
Yeah. If James Cameron is the kind of director that can be tyrannical and demanding and maybe even problematic, I don't know. I haven't specifically heard anyone use that word for him.
No, I haven't either, but there was notes about him being tough.
Maybe there's like an egotistical thing where it's like, oh, I can rip off whatever I want, and you know, or he's like more willing to be more bold with like borrowing the ideas.
Yeah.
You know, when we all do that, but
Yeah.
like, you know, maybe he's willing to do it a little more blatantly because he thinks, well, I came up with a better version of it. And maybe he did.
But that's how, like, sometimes an original script can be made, is I made a better version of this thing I saw. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, you're like, I'm going to do my own take. And that's absolutely fair. Just like, you know the joke about, like, here, copy my homework, but change some of the answers so the teacher doesn't know?
Yeah.
Like, take my name off it, put your name on. Like, yeah. I mean, that's kind of true, but, like, you know, actually put your own thought into it. There's a way to come up with originality out of inspiration and homage. Quentin Tarantino. Anyway. He's homage king. Anyway.
Okay. Well, the important thing is Arnold speaks more than 58 words in The Terminator.
If you don't take anything out of this episode, please take out the fact that Erica watched this movie 3 times so she could get an accurate number for you. Tell me the number once more.
One of them is 136, and I think the other one is 137.
So between 136 to 137 words. Remember that, people.
I can't believe they were my 2 counts were that close.
Right.
Because I was definitely doing it differently, and like, I almost thought about writing down everything he said just so that I could like, because I'm that kind of nerd. I will, if I'm on a mission like that, I might actually write down everything he says just to be able to refer back to it.
He doesn't talk a lot anyway, so it's not as obscene as it sounds. But did you think of looking up the script?
No. Why would I think of that? Why would I think of that?
In Erica's defense, okay? Yes, that sounds very silly. In Erica's defense,
I'm not that kind of nerd.
The script you start with and oh my god, she's dead. She's dead. I've lost her. In Erica's defense, the script you start with and the script you end up like actually shooting your production, they can be very different. I've definitely like read scripts, watched movies, and they definitely vary. So yeah, it might not have been the most accurate either.
I appreciate that
Thank
space
you.
there. That's a very generous thought. That's not why I didn't look it up. I didn't look it up because I just didn't think of looking it up.
That's amazing. She's like, okay, the time code here. That's a lot of work, Erica.
I know.
Well,
I've been on a notes kick anyway.
That's cool.
I'm writing furiously in my notebook all the time.
I love that. I'm inspired. So this is going to be a 2-parter because we decided to run long. I knew it was going to happen. That's fine. I'm going to save all the socials and stuff for next episode. Guys, we are going to talk about T2 Judgment Day next episode. I can't wait to dig into this movie with you.
I can't wait either. It's even more exciting than today's.
And guess what? We'll be back.
End scene.
That's it.
Walk away.
And we're walking away. All right, let me pause it here.